Hey there, fellow gardeners. Welcome back to Ruth Haven Grounds. Today we're diving deep into something that literally grounds everything we do in the garden, dirt. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dirt is just dirt, right? Wrong. Understanding the different types of soil in your garden is like understanding the different tools in your shed. Each one has its purpose, its strengths, and yes, its challenges. After years of getting my hands dirty and learning some hard lessons along the way, I'm excited to share what I've discovered about the 5 essential types of dirt that will transform how you approach your garden. Let's start with sandy soil, and I'll be honest with you, this one gave me fits when I first encountered it. Sandy soil feels gritty between your fingers, kind of like you're at the beach, and that's because it's composed of larger particles with plenty of space between them. This creates what we call excellent drainage, which sounds great until you realize your plants are constantly thirsty. The beauty of sandy soil is that it warms up quickly in spring, giving you a head start on the growing season. It's also incredibly easy to work with. No back-breaking clumps or sticky messes here. Your roots can penetrate it effortlessly, which is why carrots and other root vegetables absolutely love this stuff. But here's the catch. Because water drains through so quickly, it takes all those precious nutrients with it. Your plants are essentially living in a leaky bucket. So how do we fix this? The answer is organic matter, and lots of it. I'm talking compost, aged manure, peat moss, or even shredded leaves. When you work these materials into sandy soil, you're creating little sponges that hold onto water and nutrients. I've transformed sandy patches in my garden by adding a 3-inch layer of compost every spring, and the difference is remarkable. You'll also want to mulch heavily and consider more frequent, lighter waterings rather than deep soaking sessions that just wash away. Plants that thrive in sandy soil include lavender, rosemary, most succulents, and Mediterranean herbs that actually prefer those drier conditions. Now let's talk about clay soil, and this is where many gardeners throw up their hands in frustration. Clay feels smooth and almost slippery when wet, and it can be molded like, well, clay. The particles are incredibly tiny and packed together so tightly that water and air struggle to move through. When it's wet, clay becomes a sticky, muddy nightmare. When it's dry, it turns into concrete. I've literally broken garden tools trying to dig into dry clay during summer, but here's what most people don't realize about clay soil. It's actually nutrient-rich gold if you know how to work with it. Those tiny particles have an amazing ability to hold on to nutrients, which means your plants have access to a steady supply of minerals. The problem isn't what clay has, it's how it delivers it. Poor drainage means roots can literally drown, and compaction prevents roots from spreading out to access those nutrients. The solution isn't to fight clay soil, but to improve its structure. Again, organic matter is your best friend, but with clay, you need patience. Work in compost, aged manure, or composted bark, but don't expect overnight results. It takes time for microorganisms to break down organic matter and create those crucial air pockets. I also add gypsum to my clay areas, which helps break apart those tightly bound particles without changing the pH. Never work clay soil when it's wet. You'll just compact it further. And here's a pro tip from my own experience. Raised beds are a game changer for clay-heavy gardens. Plants that can handle clay include daylilies, asters, black-eyed Susans, and most ornamental grasses. Silty soil is that middle ground that makes gardening feel almost effortless. The particles are smaller than sand but larger than clay, giving you this smooth, almost flour-like texture when dry. It holds moisture better than sand but drains better than clay. That's why ancient civilizations thrived along river deltas, where silt deposits were abundant. When you're working with silty soil, it feels soft and almost soapy when wet. It holds its shape when you squeeze it, but breaks apart with just a gentle poke. This soil retains nutrients well and has decent drainage, making it naturally fertile. I've seen vegetables absolutely explode with growth in silty soil with minimal intervention. The main challenge with silt is that it can compact somewhat easily and may form a crust on the surface after heavy rains, which can prevent seedlings from emerging. The solution? You guessed it, organic matter. But with silt, you don't need to go overboard. A moderate addition of compost annually keeps the structure open and prevents compaction. Avoid walking on silty beds when they're wet, and consider using permanent pathways to minimize foot traffic. Almost any garden plant will thrive in silty soil, but leafy greens, tomatoes, and most perennials particularly love it. Loam is what every gardener dreams about, and if you have it naturally, count yourself blessed. Loamy soil is the perfect balance of sand, silt, and clay, usually around 40% sand, 40% silt, and 20% clay, though the exact ratios can vary. When you squeeze loamy soil, it holds together but crumbles easily. It's dark, rich, and smells earthy in the best possible way. What makes loam so special is that it combines all the best qualities of the other soil types. It drains well, but retains moisture. It holds nutrients, but doesn't become waterlogged. It's easy to work with and warms up reasonably quickly in spring. Roots can penetrate it effortlessly, and the soil structure supports beneficial microorganisms that help break down organic matter and make nutrients available to plants. If you have loamy soil, your main job is simply to maintain it by adding compost annually and practicing good crop rotation. But here's the exciting part. You can create loam even if you don't have it naturally. By amending sandy soil with clay and organic matter, or lightening clay soil with sand and organic matter, you can gradually work toward that ideal balance. It takes time and patience, but I've done it in sections of my garden, and it's absolutely worth the effort. Everything grows well in loam, from delicate flowers to heavy-feeding vegetables. Finally, let's talk about peaty soil, which is less common but incredibly distinctive. Peaty soil is dark brown or black, spongy, and rich in decomposed organic matter. When you squeeze it, it feels almost squishy and can hold an impressive amount of water. This soil forms in wetland environments where plant material decomposes slowly due to acidic, oxygen-poor conditions. The standout characteristic of peaty soil is its acidity, usually with a pH between 3.5 and 5. This makes it perfect for acid-loving plants like blueberries, azaleas, rhododendrons, and camellias. These plants absolutely thrive in the conditions that peaty soil provides. The high organic content means excellent moisture retention and good nutrient holding capacity. The challenges with peaty soil are managing that acidity for plants that prefer neutral pH and ensuring adequate drainage, as peat can sometimes hold too much water. If you need to grow a wider variety of plants, you'll need to raise the pH by adding lime. I've also found that mixing in sand or perlite helps prevent waterlogging. On the flip side, if you don't have peaty soil but want to grow acid-loving plants, you can create pockets by amending your existing soil with peat moss or composted pine bark. Understanding these 5 types of dirt isn't just academic knowledge, it's practical wisdom that shapes every decision you make in your garden. When you know what you're working with, you can choose the right plants, amend appropriately, and avoid frustration. Start by identifying your soil type. Grab a handful of moist soil and give it a squeeze. Does it fall apart? That's sandy. Does it hold its shape and feel slick? That's clay. Somewhere in between, you're likely dealing with silt or loam. For peaty soil, the dark color and spongy feel are dead giveaways. Remember, you're not stuck with what you have. Soil improvement is an ongoing journey, and every season gives you another opportunity to make your dirt a little better. The key is consistent additions of organic matter and working with your soil's natural characteristics rather than against them. Here at Ruthhaven Grounds, we believe that great gardens start from the ground up, literally. If you found this guide helpful, hit that subscribe button and share it with your fellow gardeners. Drop a comment and let me know what type of soil you're working with and what challenges you faced. Let's keep learning and growing together.